Hello friends, and welcome to a First Descendant video. In this video I'm going to show you all of my controller settings. I use an Xbox Elite controller, but obviously this can apply to any controller. I'm going to show you my sensitivity and then my buttons. Obviously buttons are kind of subjective, but I'll show you how I have it set up. The part for me that I had to play around with a lot were the sensitivity settings and everything. So I'm going to show you what I'm using for that as well. But before we get started, if you're playing the First Descendant, please consider supporting me as a Nexon creator. My code is at the top there, 5888. There will also be a link in the pinned comment below to where you can go ahead and choose me as your supported creator. That way, if you make any purchases in game, I get a small kickback and it helps me out. All right, so let's jump right into it. Going to our options. For graphics, it's going to depend on your system, obviously. I think most of my gameplay options are pretty default, but let's go into display real quick. I did up my field of view a little bit because I like it a little bit wider. You can see a lot more stuff. You can go up even more if you wanted to. But that's it for that. And then going over to controller. Now I am on Steam, so I am on PC, but I'm using a controller. So these menus may look a little bit different. But for controller, I ended up going down here to your sensitivities and I increased them a little bit just to get a little bit more movement. When you first start out, turning around is kind of slow on a controller and you're going to be needing to turn around a lot and hit the enemies. And so I increased my sensitivities. I've got X-axis is at 75, Y-axis is at 50. This is for normal, like if you're hip firing. If you're ADSing, then you want it to be a little bit lower. I might eventually toggle these up a little bit as I get more comfortable with it, but your aim sensitivity I put at 50 and 30. And then aim assist function I have on. Sometimes it is annoying though when you're trying to shoot like a barrel or something and it'll drag towards an enemy, or if the boss teleports on top of you, the aim assist I've noticed is a little wonky. And then whether you want it for a hip fire or not. And then for the tracking and sensitivity for the aim assist, I did lower to 75. I might play around with that a little bit more and see how I feel. And then lastly, real quick, I'm going to show you guys my button mapping. Now, I don't know if this is ideal. For me, on an Elite controller, I can use my D-pad for skills on my back paddles. So that's what I did. So I made skill 1 up on the D-pad, but I'll show you guys what that looks like on my Xbox accessories app. So you can see I put up on the D-pad on one of my paddles, and then I put down on the D-pad on another one of my paddles, and those are my skill 1 and skill 3 for Viesa. These are like my quick attacks that I want to be just kind of mashing. I don't want to have to worry about a combo attack. Obviously every Descendant is going to be different in that respect, but for now this is what's working for me. And then for skill 2 I put it with a combo of B because B is also dodge, so that way I can have dodge on my paddles. And then my last one I put LBX, which is right here. It's the easiest one for me to kind of hit with my thumb, and I'm already using it for reload. And that one in particular for Viesa is her blizzard, so it just makes more sense because I'm not using that one as often. It's on a longer cooldown. And that's pretty much it. A lot of these buttons down here do not need to be mapped because you can get to them by just hitting the same button. A lot of these menu. And then for right now, the ring menu, I've taken off for emotes and stuff like that and sprays, but you could always assign that to something. And then the scans to see where like the crit spots are on the bosses and stuff. I believe that's what this Safe means. After you've done the bosses a few times, you really don't need this. And when you're going in the menu to choose the boss, it actually shows you where those weak spots are. So I don't think I'm going to need this in the future. I haven't had any issues. Those are my controller settings. Hopefully that helped you guys out. Let me know in the comments below what Descendant you guys are rocking with and what you think of the game so far. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I only have a couple negatives. I feel like there's not much personality in the game, so I wish it was a little bit more like Destiny where there are more distinctive areas and enemy types and factions and things like that. I know there are, but they're not as distinctive, if that makes sense. And then we'll see in the future as I get into hard mode and finish the story and all that, if I feel like the grind is too much compared to what you can just buy in the shop for real money. Alright guys, don't forget to like and subscribe, support my creator code down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.